Holly's hands trembled as she stared at the patient file on her desk, the name Georgia Ellis jumping out like a ghost from a decade-old grave. In the sterile hum of New York Presbyterian Hospital, she had built a fortress of precision and detachment, but now, with Georgia's life hanging by a thread from a failing heart, Holly realized she was the only surgeon qualified to perform the experimental transplant that could save her. The irony burned. The woman she had abandoned in a haze of family pressure and societal shame was now the one forcing her to confront the ruins of her own heart. Holly slammed the file shut, her mind racing back to that rainy night in Boston 10 years ago. She had been 23, fresh out of med school, and Georgia, her college sweetheart, had been the light in her otherwise rigid world. Their love had been fierce, stolen kisses in dorm rooms, whispered promises under the covers. But when Holly's conservative parents discovered them, her father's rage echoing through the family home, her mother's tearful pleas about reputation and grandchildren, Holly had cracked. She chose the path laid out for her. Medical career, heterosexual facade, a life of quiet denial. She left Georgia with a note, too cowardly for a face-to-face goodbye. "I can't do this," it said. "It's not who I am." Lies, all of it, to preserve the image her family demanded. Now at 33, Holly was a renowned cardiothoracic surgeon, her days filled with saving lives while her nights echoed with emptiness. She had married once to a kind but oblivious colleague named Mark, but the divorce 2 years ago had been mutual, a quiet admission that her heart wasn't in it, literally or figuratively. She dated men sporadically, but the spark was absent, a void where Georgia's memory lingered. And here Georgia was, admitted last night with end-stage cardiomyopathy, her chart noting a rare blood type that matched only a handful of donors, and the procedure Holly had pioneered was her only shot. Holly paced her office, the fluorescent lights buzzing like accusations. What if Georgia recognized her? What if she refused treatment? The thought twisted in her gut. She should recuse herself, cite conflict of interest, but the hospital's chief had already assigned her, praising her expertise. "You're the best we have, Dr. Ramirez," he said, oblivious to the personal storm brewing. Ramirez, her married name she kept for professional reasons, a shield from her maiden name. Ellis? No, Georgia's last name was Ellis. Holly's was Thompson before marriage. Coincidence? Or fate mocking her? She sank into her chair, burying her face in her hands. The inner monologue raged. "You owe her this. But do you deserve her forgiveness?" The years had piled on regrets, each successful surgery a hollow victory. She remembered Georgia's laugh, the way she painted abstracts that captured emotions Holly could never express. Georgia had been her anchor, and Holly had cut the line to save herself from drowning in disapproval. Now the waves were crashing back. Holly's pager buzzed, round starting. She straightened her lab coat, forcing composure. As she walked the halls, nurses nodded respectfully, patients looked at her with hope. But inside, turmoil churned. She entered the cardiac ICU, her eyes scanning the beds until they landed on Georgia. There she was, pale against the white sheets, monitors beeping steadily. Georgia's eyes were closed, her chest rising shallowly. Holly's breath caught. She looked older, wearier, but still beautiful, her dark blonde hair splayed on the pillow. Approaching cautiously, Holly checked the vitals. Stable for now, but time was ticking. A nurse handed her the updated chart. "Family's in the waiting room, doctor. Her sister's been asking questions." Holly nodded, her mind whirling. Georgia had a sister? She vaguely remembered mentions of a sibling, but they had never met. Steeling herself, she headed to the waiting area. There, a woman in her late 20s paced, her resemblance to Georgia striking. Same warm brown eyes but sharper features. "I'm Dr. Ramirez," Holly introduced herself, extending a hand. "I'm handling your sister's case." The woman shook it firmly. "I'm Mia Ellis. How is she?" "They said something about a transplant." Holly explained the situation clinically. The failing heart, the need for a specialized procedure. But inside she screamed, "This is my fault. If I hadn't left, maybe her life wouldn't have led here." Stress? Heartbreak? Cardiomyopathy could stem from many things, but Holly's guilt assigned blame to herself. Mia nodded, worry etching her face. "Georgia's strong, but she's been through hell. Divorced last year, lost her job in the pandemic. And now this." Divorced? Holly's heart skipped. So Georgia had married too, tried the straight path? Or was it to someone else? Questions burned, but she kept professional. We'll do everything we can. As she left, Mia called out, Doctor? You look familiar. Have we met? Holly froze, then shook her head. I don't think so. Lie number one of many to come. Back in her office, Holly collapsed, the weight pressing down. She had to tell Georgia the truth before surgery. But how? The confrontation loomed, a storm on the horizon. Her phone buzzed, a text from her mother. Dinner Sunday? Bring someone nice. The irony stung. Her family still pushed for the perfect image, unaware of the cracks. Holly stared at Georgia's file again. This wasn't just a patient. This was redemption or ruin. She had to operate, had to save her. But at what cost to her own soul? The day blurred into consultations and prep. By evening, Georgia was awake, and Holly couldn't avoid it anymore. She entered the room, chart in hand. Georgia's eyes widened in recognition. Holly, she whispered, voice weak but laced with shock. Holly nodded. Throat tight. Yes. It's me. The silence stretched, heavy with unspoken pain. Georgia's expression shifted from surprise to hurt to anger. Why are you here? I'm your surgeon, Holly said, voice steady despite the inner quake. I can save you. Georgia laughed bitterly, a cough following. Save me? You destroyed me once. Why should I trust you now? Holly had no answer, only the echoing regret. Because I never stopped loving you. Georgia's words hung in the air like a blade, slicing through the beeps and whirs of the hospital room. Holly stood frozen, her white coat suddenly feeling like armor too thin for this battle. She had rehearsed this moment in her mind 1,000 times over the years, but reality was messy, raw. I didn't expect this, Holly admitted, pulling a chair closer but not sitting, as if distance could shield her. When I saw your name, I couldn't believe it. Georgia's brown eyes, dulled by illness but sharp with memory, bored into her. Believe it? You've been living your perfect life, doctor. Married, successful. I saw your name in medical journals once. Congrats. The sarcasm stung, but Holly deserved it. The marriage didn't last. It was a mistake. A mistake, Georgia echoed, her voice cracking. Like us. No, Holly said quickly, too quickly. We weren't a mistake. I was the one who messed up. I was scared, Georgia. My family. Your family, Georgia interrupted. Anger flaring despite her weakness. Always your excuse. They found out, and you bolted. Left me with nothing but questions. Do you know what that did to me? Holly's mind flashed to her own nights of doubt, the therapy sessions she never admitted to, the way she buried herself and worked to forget. But Georgia's pain was hers to own. I know I hurt you. I was young, pressured. My dad threatened to cut me off, disown me. Medical school debt was crushing. I thought I had no choice. Georgia turned her head away, staring at the wall. Inside, her thoughts tumbled. She looks the same yet different. Harder. Does she regret it, or is this just guilt talking? I built a life without her. Married Tom to prove I could move on, but it was a lie. Now here she is holding my life in her hands. Tell me about your life, Holly ventured, needing to bridge the gap. Mia mentioned a divorce. Georgia sighed, the monitor spiking slightly. Tom was a good guy. Straight, safe. My parents pushed for it after you left. Find a nice man, settle down. I tried. We had a house in Chicago. I painted, taught art classes. But it wasn't enough. I came out to him 5 years in, and he left. Said he couldn't compete with a ghost. Holly winced. I'm sorry. Don't be. It woke me up. I moved back to New York, embraced who I am. Dated women openly. But the stress. Doctors say it contributed to this. She gestured weakly at her chest. Holly's professional mask slipped. Cardiomyopathy can be genetic, viral. But yes, chronic stress exacerbates it. Chronic heartbreak, you mean? Georgia shot back, but there was less venom, more exhaustion. They talked haltingly, memories surfacing like debris in a flood. College days, their first date at an indie bookstore. The way Georgia's art captured Holly's guarded emotions. But beneath it, the betrayal loomed. I need to know, Georgia said finally. Can you really do this surgery? Or should I request someone else? Holly met her gaze. I'm the best for this. It's a ventricular assist device bridge to transplant, with my modified technique. High success rate. But with me? Can you be objective? Holly hesitated. Inside. How can I be objective when every beat of her heart reminds me of what I lost? I have to be. For you. Georgia nodded slowly. Fine. But after? We go our separate ways. The words cut, but Holly agreed. As she left the room, her phone rang. Her father. Holly, your mother's worried. When are you coming home? And that nice doctor friend of yours? She hung up without answering, the family pressure a constant tide. Back home that night, in her sleek Manhattan apartment, Holly poured wine, staring at old photos she kept hidden. One of them laughing in the snow. She had chosen safety over love, and now the bill was due. The next day brought complications. George's condition worsened. Tests showed inflammation, delaying surgery. Holly consulted with colleagues, but her mind wandered to Mia, who cornered her in the hall. You knew her, Mia accused. From college. Georgia told me about you years ago. The one who broke her heart. Holly's face paled. Yes. But that was the past. Is it? You're operating on her. Conflict much. I disclosed it to the ethics board. Holly lied, planning to do so now. They cleared me. Mia eyed her suspiciously. If anything happens to her because of you. The threat hung. Holly's inner voice screamed, she's right. You're playing with fire. But backing out now would doom Georgia. No one else had her experience. In your prep, Holly reviewed the procedure, her team efficient. But doubt crept in. What if her hands shook? What if subconscious resentment, or love, clouded judgment? Georgia's pre-op visit was tense. Promise me something, Georgia said. If I don't make it, tell my family I was happy. Finally. You will make it, Holly insisted. As they wheeled Georgia away, Holly followed, mask on, heart pounding. The surgery loomed, a crossroads of fate. But then alarms blared, Georgia coded in the hall. Chaos erupted, defibrillators charging. Holly took charge, compression steady, but inside, don't leave me now. Not like this. They stabilized her, but the close call shook Holly. She realized, saving Georgia wasn't just medical, it was atonement. And the price? Exposing her own truths. That night, Holly called her parents. We need to talk. About who I really am. Her father's voice hardened. What does that mean? I'm gay, Dad. Always have been. Silence, then explosion. After all we've done? You'll ruin us. The call ended in shouts, but Holly felt lighter. The first crack in her facade. The fallout from the phone call echoed through Holly's days like aftershocks. Her mother texted, please. Think of the family. What will people say? Her father went silent, a disapproval louder than words. But amid the personal quake, George's surgery approached, rescheduled after stabilization. In the hospital, tension thickened. Mia hovered, her protectiveness a barrier. George is resting, she said when Holly tried to visit. She doesn't need more stress. Holly nodded, retreating to her office. Inside, thoughts swirled. I've started the unraveling. Coming out to them was the first step. But can I face the rejection? For Georgia, yes. She deserves someone whole. Georgia, meanwhile, lay in bed, mind racing. Holly's return stirred old feelings, anger mixed with lingering affection. Why did she have to be the one? I moved on, built a community, dated women who accepted me. But seeing her, it's like unfinished business. A nurse interrupted her reverie. Your ex is here. The doctor. Holly entered, looking haggard. We need to discuss risks. They went over percentages, complications. But Georgia steered personal. Why now? After all this time, why save me? Holly sat, finally. Because I never forgave myself. Leaving you was the biggest mistake. Society, family, they drilled into me that being gay was wrong. I believed it then. And now, I'm done hiding. I told my parents last night. Georgia's eyes widened. What did they say? Predictably awful. But it's freeing. A tentative smile from Georgia. Good for you. Late but good. The conversation deepened, sharing post-breakup lives. Georgia's art career, her advocacy in LGBTQ groups. Holly's climbs in medicine, the isolation. But why marry? Georgia asked. To fit in. Prove I could. Stupid. Georgia nodded. Me too. Tom was my shield. They laughed softly, a bridge forming over the chasm. But Mia burst in. What's this? Cozy chat. It's fine, Georgia said. Mia glared at Holly. You're using her vulnerability. No, Holly protested. Mia stormed out, but the seed of doubt planted. Later, Holly faced the ethics board confessing the history. I should have disclosed sooner. The chair frowned. Potential bias. But your expertise is unmatched. Proceed but monitored. Relief mixed with shame. That night, Holly attended a support group for queer professionals, a first. Stories mirrored hers, family rejection, career facades. She shared anonymously. I abandoned love for approval. Now fate's forcing amends. Empathy flowed, bolstering her. Georgia's sighed. Friends visited, urging caution. Don't trust her, one said. She left once. But Georgia's heart, figuratively, softened. Maybe forgiveness is possible. But at what cost? Reopening wounds. Surgery day dawned. Holly scrubbed in, team assembled. Georgia, anesthetized, looked peaceful. Incision made, heart exposed. Holly's hands steady but mind flashed. This organ I broke emotionally, now literally in my hands. Hours ticked, procedure intricate. A bleed controlled. Device implanted successfully. In recovery, Georgia woke groggy. Holly checked in. It went well. Thank you, Georgia murmured. But complications arose overnight, infection signs. Antibiotics ramped, but fever spiked. Holly stayed late monitoring. Mia confronted her again. This is your fault. Stress from seeing you. Medically, no, Holly said, but guilt agreed. Georgia weakened, delirium setting in. She mumbled, Holly, why did you go? Holly held her hand, whispering, I'm sorry. I love you. Always did. Mia's arrival broke the moment. Get out. Holly left, tears streaming. Outside, she called a friend. I might lose her. And it's my doing. The friend urged. Fight for her. Not just medically. Next day, infection subsided. Georgia stabilized, but weak. They talked. I heard you, Georgia said. In the fever. Holly blushed. Meant it. But love? After betrayal. It's complicated, Holly admitted. Georgia pondered. Can I let her back? The hurt runs deep, but so does the connection. Family pressures mounted. Holly's mother arrived unannounced. We need to talk. In the cafeteria, accusations flew. You're throwing away your life for that lifestyle. It's who I am, Mom. Tears, please. Your father had a minor heart scare from the stress. Guilt stabbed. I'm sorry, but I can't change. Her mother left, unresolved. Georgia's family mirrored. Her parents, conservative Midwesterners, visited. Who's this doctor? They asked, sensing tension. Mia spilled. Her ex. The one from college. Shock, disapproval. Georgia, you're confusing illness with feelings. Georgia defended. It's my life. The clash highlighted societal rifts, acceptance versus tradition. Holly and Georgia stole moments, rebuilding trust. But a donor heart became available, perfect match. Another surgery loomed, higher stakes. Holly prepped, inner resolve. This is my chance to right wrongs. But if it fails? The donor heart arrived via helicopter, a beacon of hope amid the gathering storm. Holly reviewed protocols, her team buzzing with efficiency, but her mind fixated on the risks. Rejection, complications, the emotional toll if she failed. This wasn't just any transplant. It was Georgia's second chance, tethered to Holly's redemption. In the holding area, Georgia lay prepped, eyes meeting Holly's. Scared, she admitted. Holly squeezed her hand. Me too. But you're strong. Mia lingered nearby, arms crossed. If you screw this up. I won't, Holly promised, though doubt whispered. What if my past clouds my focus? As anesthesia took hold, Georgia's last words. No regrets. Or lights blared, instruments gleamed. Holly made the incision, removing the assist device, prepping for the new heart. Hours blurred, suturing vessels, monitoring rhythms. A hitch, irregular beats post-implant. Defibrillation stabilized it. Success but tentative. In ICU, Georgia unconscious, machines vigilant. Holly collapsed in the lounge, exhaustion hitting. Her phone vibrated. Father. Your mother's distraught. Come home, fix this. She texted back. I can't fix who I am. Rejection stung, but liberation followed. Georgia woke hours later, groggy but alert. Did it work? So far, yes, Holly said, relief flooding. They talked softly, barriers crumbling. Georgia shared. After you left, I questioned everything. Dated men to conform, but it hollowed me. Coming out was my rebellion. Holly nodded. I envy that courage. I hid longer. But you're here now. Mia's interruption. Parents are coming again. They're upset about this. She gestured between them. Georgia sighed. Let them. The Ellis parents arrived, faces stern. Georgia, we've heard rumors. This doctor, you're past. Georgia met their gaze. Yes. And maybe future. Shock rippled. Her father. We raised you better. Society won't accept it. Society's changing, Georgia countered. And I won't hide anymore. Arguments ensued, voices rising. Holly stepped in. This stress isn't good for her recovery. The parents left grumbling, but seeds of doubt planted in Georgia. Is this worth the family rift? Holly faced her own demons. Colleagues whispered. Rumors of her personal involvement spread. The chief called her in. Is there truth to this? It could affect your position. Holly confessed. Yes, but it didn't impact care. Perception matters, he warned. Take leave if needed. She refused, but the pressure mounted. Nights brought introspection. Holly journaled. The price of truth, career jeopardy, family loss. But Georgia's smile makes it worth it. Georgia's thoughts mirrored. Forgiving her means risking more hurt. But denying feelings is worse. Recovery progressed, physical therapy starting. They walked halls together, conversations deepening. One evening, Georgia confessed. I dated someone seriously after divorce. Lena. It ended because I couldn't commit fully. Your shadow lingered. Holly winced. I ruined that too. No. I let it. A kiss almost happened, but restraint held. Hospital walls, vulnerabilities. Then betrayal struck. Mia, in a misguided protection, contacted Holly's ex-husband Mark, spilling the history. Mark, still friendly, called Holly. Heard about your patient. Be careful. Emotions cloud judgment. Holly confronted Mia. Why? Georgia deserves better than someone who runs. The accusation hit home. Holly stormed off, questioning. Am I repeating patterns? Georgia learned, furious at Mia. You had no right. Sisters clashed, old resentments surfacing. Mia always the protector, Georgia the dreamer. Reconciliation tentative, but damage done. As discharge neared, Georgia decided. I need space. To heal, figure things out. Holly's heart sank. Understandable. But inside. Losing her again? The ultimate price. At home, Georgia faced empty apartment, art supplies untouched. Friends urged. Guard your heart. Holly, on forced leave, attended therapy. I betrayed her once. Now earning trust means patience. Weeks passed, tentative texts evolving to calls. They met for coffee, neutral ground. I missed you, Georgia admitted. Me too. But societal whispers followed. Friends judging, families pressuring. Holly's father suffered a real heart attack, blaming stress from her choice. She rushed to Boston. Bedside, he grumbled. See what you've done? No, Dad. This is from holding on to hate. A turning point? Maybe. Back in New York, Georgia advocated at a LGBTQ event, sharing her story anonymously. Empowerment surged. They reunited, emotions raw. I'm ready to try, Georgia said. Holly agreed but cautioned. It won't be easy. The relationship bloomed cautiously, dates shadowed by past. But a final twist. A colleague, jealous of Holly's success, leaked the story to media. Surgeon operates on ex-lover. Ethics questioned. Scandal erupted. Hospital investigating. Holly faceboard. Did personal feelings compromise care? No, she insisted. But reputation tarnished, job at risk. Georgia stood by her. She saved me. That's what matters. The price? Public scrutiny, family estrangement amplified. Yet in private they found solace. The media storm raged for weeks, headlines screaming about conflicts of interest and hidden romances in the high-stakes world of medicine. Holly's face splashed across tabloids, her carefully constructed life dissected under the glare of public opinion. Colleagues distanced themselves, whispers in the halls turning to outright avoidance. The hospital placed her on administrative leave pending review, a limbo that felt like purgatory. At home, Holly paced her apartment, the city skyline mocking her isolation. Why did I think I could have it all? Saving her, loving her. Now it's costing everything. Career, family, privacy. Is love worth this wreckage? Georgia, recovering at her Brooklyn loft, fielded calls from concerned friends and furious family. Her parents cut contact temporarily, her mother's voice tearful over the phone. We can't condone this publicity. It's embarrassing. Mia apologized profusely, but the betrayal lingered, a fracture in their bond. Yet amid the chaos, Georgia's resolve strengthened. Holly didn't run this time. She stayed fought. Maybe that's the change I needed to see. They met in secret, a small cafe in Queens, away from prying eyes. This is insane, Holly said, stirring her coffee endlessly. Georgia reached across. We knew it wouldn't be easy. Society's not kind to us. But your recovery stress could trigger rejection. I'm managing. Meds, therapy. You. Holly shrugged. Losing my job might be the push I need. Start a clinic for underserved LGBTQ patients. Georgia smiled. That's the Holly I remember, idealistic. The conversation turned intimate, sharing fears. Holly admitted. I betrayed you to appease others. Now facing their rejection, I see the folly. Georgia nodded. Forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's choosing forward. But forward meant choices. Holly's review hearing loomed. She prepared statements, evidence of impeccable care. The day arrived, boardroom tense. Testimonies varied, some praised her skill, others questioned ethics. Mia's surprise appearance. She saved my sister. Personal history aside, she's a hero. The board cleared her, but with probation. Reputation scarred, but job intact. Relief washed over, but the cost. Lost promotions, wary patience. Family mended slowly. Holly's mother reached out. Your father's stubborn, but he misses you. A tentative dinner, awkward but a start. We don't understand, her father grumbled. But you're our daughter. Georgia sighed. Parents thought after seeing her health improve. If she makes you happy. Her mother conceded. But society bit back. Online trolls harassed, doxing attempts. They hired security briefly. Through it, their bond deepened. Dates became routine. Love rekindled without the shadows of secrecy. One night over wine, Georgia said, I almost didn't let you operate. Feared the past repeating. Holly held her. I'm glad you did. It forced my awakening. But awakenings came with damages. Friends lost to judgment, careers pivoted. Holly left the hospital for private practice, focusing on advocacy. Georgia returned to art, pieces inspired by their story. Abstracts of hearts mending. Years condensed into months of growth. They moved in together, a cozy brownstone, symbolizing commitment. Challenges persisted. Family holidays tense, societal stares. But they faced them united. In quiet moments, doubts surfaced. Holly wondered. Was abandoning her the catalyst for this strength? Or unnecessary pain? Georgia pondered. Forgiving betrayal. Wise or weak? Their story spread in LGBTQ circles, inspiring some, dividing others. Debates raged. Can true love survive such treason? As they sat on their balcony, watching the sunset, Holly asked, Do you ever regret trusting me again? Georgia shook her head. Regrets are for the past. We're here now. The journey's end wasn't perfection, but acceptance. Wounds healed, scars remained, a testament to resilience. In the end, was betraying love for societal approval ever justifiable? Or does true redemption demand paying the ultimate price in pain and loss?